are engagement hacks hurting your brand? What are the long-term effects of relying on these hacks? Are you good at communicating your story? And if you're not, find somebody that can help you do that.
You should focus more on the connections you're building and the community you're building and the engagement that comes from that, rather than just comments, and focus less on likes, comments, and those sort of things, and focus more on what you're trying to build overall.
Welcome to the Social Edge Podcast. I'm Ishu.
And I'm Georgia.
And today we're talking about, are engagement hacks hurting your brand?
Well, we've all seen them, and sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad. But when engagement bait is like, comment below if this resonates, comment yes if you agree, tag 3 friends. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But let's talk about it today and say, are they really building your community, or are they just game for the algorithm?
No, it's absolutely. I think one of the things that we just need to get straight from the get-go is, do they work? And reality is, it's a short-term game. You know, we as business owners, as content creators, as personal brands, we always want to play the long-term game.
Yeah.
And I think, in short, they really do give you that visibility, they give you the reach, little increase. And if you use them in the right way, I think they can give you the boost to attract audience. But then from there, you have to make sure that you capture them.
Yeah.
So let's quickly touch on that.
Yeah. At the end of the day, if you never tell people ever where to go, how are they ever going to learn?
Absolutely.
How are they going to get there? Yeah. And let's just talk about some of the platforms.
Yeah.
TikTok and Instagram, you scroll a feed.
Yeah.
So if you don't tell people to go somewhere to get something from you, they're going to keep scrolling their feed and they're never going to click on your profile. They may never click on your profile. Yeah. But if you tell them to go there or comment below and I'll with this word and I'll send you this using like an automation through AI, ManyChat.
Yeah.
You're going to get them to what you need them to, get them to where you need them to go and give them what you need to give them. So there is a time and a place for it.
Yeah.
But I think in some instances, it can become too much, too salesy, and therefore you can like lose the impact of them. And I think what we want to talk about today is, why do creators use engagement hacks? And like get into that a little bit. So it can be really good for a quick boost in reach, visibility, and sort of the vanity metrics, right? Yeah. So you can use it to kind of, for example, if you're telling people comment below and I'll give you this, or comment below and if this resonates, like that kind of thing, it can lead to a comment. Yeah. So it's going to help boost your post.
Boost the account.
But and also then if people are engaging in your post, it can help boost the algorithm, because the algorithm responds when you get those comments and you get those shares, saves. Like there's all different metrics that you can use. So you can tell people to save this for next time. Yeah. And actually the algorithm favors that at the moment, things like saves. So it is a great way to get a little boost.
That's it. But it's what you do in the back end. And this is where I'm really excited about this, because it's all about then nurturing the leads. It's going, okay, once you capture people, what do you give them? And the important part, again, here, the word is value. Yes. When people comment and you give them some sort of asset, prompt, document, PDF, whatever it may be, number one, for you, it's a great opportunity to lead generate, meaning grab a name, phone number, email to retarget down the line with a low ticket offer, depending on where you've niched down. Yeah. By the way, check our niche down episode that we did previously, where we unpacked this a little bit better, but ultimately being able to dissect that and go, okay, how do I hook these people in? And now that I've hooked them, how do I nurture them to go from somebody cold to a committed person following my account, part of my community, to somebody that potentially could buy a low or high ticket offer from me. Yeah.
So I think what would be good to talk about is if you did not do any of these hacks or you did not direct people in any way, what's the outcome? The outcome is they'll only follow you if the piece of content that they really, really enjoyed has resonated with them so much that they go and click on your profile, they go to that next step of clicking your profile, follow, and now they're engaged and they're going to wait for the next piece of content.
Yes.
However, this is like an additional boost. It's almost like a cherry on a cake.
Yeah.
Because, not to say you should always do it, but to do it is a cherry on a cake, because if, for example, that person has watched your piece of content, so say you've watched a reel or a TikTok, and you they talk about something that resonates with you because you're in their target audience, you've fallen into the niche. So that resonates with you. Now you're thinking, well, I actually need that. If they've created a CTA that's like, comment now and get my free, and I'll send you my free resource.
Yeah.
Or I'll send you an invitation to book a call. Straight away.
Yeah.
That even if they haven't followed you, they're still in your, they're still in
your
the
profile,
process.
your videos
they're
will be
still
recommended.
in the campaign. So at that point, they've already caught your attention. I've commented on things and I've interacted with content creators, businesses, brands to receive something for free, like a resource. I've then given my data over, like my name and my email, my phone number, to get that free resource. But I've never gone and followed them. And that's why sometimes the metrics that we look at, and actually the metrics we look at for our clients, isn't always the follow button and how many followers you get. Of course, followers are important in some areas, but they're less important these days when it comes to sales and marketing through social media, because what we're actually more interested in is, are people going on the journey? Are they joining your community? Are you getting their emails? Are they engaging? Are you getting sales? Because that's the cycle that we're helping clients sort of like close. And that's a bit different from the original social media and why social media came about to where it's gone to today. Yeah. But if you're a business owner, if you're a personal brand with a clear offer, ride the wave. Because it's right now, it's all geared up for you. The platforms are all geared up for you. So you may as well leverage it.
Leverage it, absolutely. Which kind of goes into the next question I want to ask, and that is, what are the long-term effects of relying on these hacks? You know, if you're really short-term driven, thinking, I'm just going to jump on the trend, jump on this, jump that, on that, and the other, how could that affect your account, your productivity, your audience in a negative way?
Sometimes it can be a bit annoying. So if you haven't really got something valuable to give, if you keep CTAing, call to action, so you keep putting a call to action, you keep doing these engagement hacks, then it's going to like kind of play into like not feeling really authentic, not really feeling like you're actually trying to engage with the community in a real way. Instead, you're just trying to get that comment, you're just trying to get that boost, you're just trying to get that sale, you're just trying to get that engagement. And then it can feel a bit too like needy. Like people are just like queued up to this now, right? Because everyone's doing it.
Yes.
So you're not it's not like the early days when people just started doing this for the first time. You know, we're not in 2020, we're in 2025. Things have progressed in the last 5 years.
Yes.
And so that can lead to low quality engagement. And it kind of like means that your audience are sort of trained to then only sort of respond to that kind of thing.
Or not respond. You know, your brain just kind of goes, oh, here's another one. Oh.
Well, yeah, it might be that like you're giving so much, even if you're giving all these freebies away, maybe your brand are just like, well, I'll just keep taking all their freebies and now I don't want to go into the next stage of their sales cycle.
You know, this is interesting. Instagram at the moment is testing this QR code lock post idea, which is interesting. It hasn't been rolled out yet and probably will be by the time we post this episode, but it's very interesting how people want to play the game of curiosity that, oh, don't give me too much, you know? In one of the episodes, we talked about dating and how you narrow down to find your partner. When you date somebody, if somebody is really easy going and really easy kind of, you get everything as soon as you see them, it's not very interesting, is it? People want like, a bit of...
like I remember...
The hunting game
Oh my gosh, I remember my friend telling me she went on a first date.
Yeah.
And on the first date, this guy gave her his entire life story, like the trauma and all of it. And she was like, whoa, it's just too much information for the first date. And like, it doesn't mean that like...
She doesn't want to hear it.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that in time, if they establish a relationship, she wouldn't want to be there and listen to that. And she wouldn't resonate or she wouldn't be there to comfort him. But for a first date, that's a lot of information. So actually, I think this is really important because... that's why sometimes like a tripwire or like a freebie works really well on social media, because it's a great way to give a little bit of something to your audience so that they then go, I want to go on that next step and I want to actually receive something like higher. Like, I want more value. I want all that you can give. I want the full package.
Yeah.
But if you give them everything at the beginning, how are they gonna like? What more can what more can they get? So it's like, even if you're giving free value with your content, a lot of like creators are like value driven. Hamosi is one of those, like Bartlett. But even though they give all that free value in all their content, like with Stephen Bartlett, you still at the end of the day, if you want to experience the impact of what you can apply all his advice, of course you can. If you really want the impact of like the Stephen Bartlett effect, you're going to have to pay for his services through one of his companies. Or like with Hamosi, if you like, you're going to start an account with school. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's at the end of the day, even these value-driven creators, they still have something much greater than what you're receiving for free. So like, even for us, right? We give so much free value. We're having these conversations on this podcast. We give value in freebies and downloads and we have low ticket stuff. But ultimately, the clients who are our high ticket enterprise clients, they're going to get our 100% best delivery. And it doesn't mean that we don't want to service other people at different levels, but there's a reason why there's a price point. So I think what we're trying to say is, like, you can use these tactics, but like, don't throw the kitchen sink at them.
That's it.
But at the same time, there's a whole different thought process, which is like, give as much free value away as possible. That works in some instances, but I think it's just like, in terms of your strategy, just like weighing the two up and then kind of progressing based on like those two thoughts. Really, it's going to be different for every industry.
You want to almost show them the what, the why, but not tell them the how, because the how is your paid offer, the thing that you actually take them on the journey.
You tell them the what, the why, the how, but at the end of the day, they've got to do it themselves, and they're not you.
The recipe of the cake, right? Yeah. Everybody has a recipe of a cake, but they still have to make the cake.
Yes,
right?
I've seen this amazing reel. It's so funny, and it's basically saying like about how, you know, ultimately, if you put something in ChatGPT, and it creates like that thing for you,
the output,
like ChatGPT created it, but you had to put it in ChatGPT. Same way of like, if you bake a cake, you may have a recipe, but you still got to bake the cake. So it's like, the thing is, ultimately, with this is like a done with you offer, right? You can give someone all the free advice, you can give them a full done with you, but they still got to do it. And oftentimes in business and when it's something that you don't know, it's like that time and cost, like cost benefit analysis.
Yes.
It could take you hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to do something that an expert can do very quickly for a cost. It could take you so much time and you won't do it quite as good.
Absolutely.
So do you want to waste time doing things half-assed, like not as good? Or do you want to invest in something to produce that result? And I think like, if you are a creator or a business, what you want to be doing is weighing that up in your head. Like, so if you're giving something to your audience, you might even give them the whole why and how, but you're only going to, at the end of the day, they got to do it themselves. Or if they want you, they're going to have to pay for it.
It's almost like there's a level of commitment which one has to come to terms with.
Yeah.
You know, if you have the roadmap and the plan and you go, oh, I'll do it myself, but you're okay putting 5 years to fulfill it, instead of 3 months with somebody like us that has done it multiple times over and over again, that's coming down to your commitment
and also your time, like, and your capacity. Like, if you have capacity, crack on, like, you know, do it as a done with you. And like, that's why we love working with done with you businesses, because they are the ones that have the time to do their own editing, do their own creation. They can just use us as a resource for strategic
to also grow. But also, I think the beautiful thing about this, and we've had so many clients that have done this, that come to us, we start to service them and we almost like take the weight off their shoulders, that allows them to shift into the next gear of their dreams, of their visions, of the things that they've wanted to do but haven't had the capacity. And based on our support, now they do. And ultimately, we help them speed up the process of what could have taken maybe 5 years to accomplish to maybe a fraction of that time and start the new thing and
focus
progress
on their business.
Exactly.
Right? That's what it's really about.
Yeah, I love that.
So we segued a little bit there, but I enjoyed the convo. So
very good.
We'll bring it back to the topic, which is I've got another question. So can you build genuine engagement without hacks? So when we're talking about hacks, we're saying hacks, but what we mean is CTAs, really.
CTAs, yeah. The tips and tricks. And at the end of the day, we've said it once, we're going to keep saying it, storytelling.
Yeah.
Are you good at communicating your story? And if you're not, find somebody that can help you do that.
Yeah.
We do that with a lot of our clients. Oftentimes, they have such a great story. They have great value. They just don't know how to portray it visually, with graphics, and through their copy. And this is something that we're really efficient at doing. And I think the beauty in it is really spending time. And I think such a good saying, there's beauty in the breaking, meaning oftentimes you spend so much time trying to refine something, to make it perfect, to make it the best thing you can. But actually what you want to do is spend enough time to find the raw version of the why in you, of why you started. So there's longevity in it. You want your story not to be from today for the next 6 months, but generational. How awesome will it be if when Thea grows up, she can see eStudios still going, still producing not only financial gain, but also impacting the media space, the social media space, the marketing space in a way that other companies may not, right?
I love that. I think what might be helpful for people listening is we see storytelling and hear storytelling a lot. And what you just said really made me think about this is you might be thinking, how do I storytell? When I'm giving advice or giving guidance. Sometimes storytelling is that little bit of the additional information that you wouldn't normally give to give that piece of advice. So maybe you are doing a piece of content to help people grow their followers on Instagram. What you could do to storytell is tell them a little bit of information about how you were doing something wrong before and therefore it wasn't growing your audience. And you can also maybe say about how you tried to do something different and therefore that wasn't working. So the storytelling element of content creation is when you go that extra mile to give that little bit of information that goes beyond the topic that you're giving advice on. So then people feel like, oh wow, I'm on the journey.
Yeah, this is what you shouldn't do.
We learn when we're kids, right? We read storybooks. What is a children's storybook like? It's like beginning, middle, end.
That's it.
So sometimes what people are doing on social media is they're just chucking out a piece of content with a bit of advice. So all you're really giving is the middle and the end, or maybe just the middle, or maybe just the end. But what you want to do is you want to add little elements so that they get the beginning, middle, and end. And that's as simple as just telling them a little bit about your day, telling them why you're talking about this topic. It's just a weird example, but I've done a post before where it was I was talking about the pivot and about not everything being perfect and just going for it anyway. But then what I did is I mentioned about how on that morning I was walking to film one of our episodes of the podcast in the rain, and how I got drenched, and it was I laughed because it was well, this is real life and not everything is perfect. Absolutely. And then that was exactly what the post was about. The storytelling element was that little bit of information about my day. And that little bit of information is what your audience will then resonate with, and it'll make them feel like, oh, this is a really funny piece of content. Even though you're giving advice and the advice is good, now the advice feels applicable to them because you've told them a bit of your story.
I love that.
So that's awesome. Feel like what we want to help people do when they're thinking about these hacks and engagement and stuff, if you're not going to use these as a way to engage your audience, the other option you can do is you can use storytelling as a really great tactic to bring people on a journey. But you can do both. I'm a big believer in you can do both. You can storytell and then you can still direct them to where they need to go. Or
you just need to be on it, right? You need to be on the ball to know that if you are using a little CTA, something that will boost, you need to be ready to catch the receiving end of the volume of that.
Yeah.
And if you're not, be prepared for it to take a little bit more time. Don't expect it to happen tomorrow or the next day. Maybe it'll take a week or two.
Well, also, like, I think it's important to know, like, the platforms, like, everyone hates the algorithm. They think the algorithm is setting them up to fail, but the algorithm is setting you up to win because the algorithm social media wants you to be active on social media. So, like, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, they want you on their platforms.
Yes.
They want you consuming content and posting content and being active. So what have they done? They've created tools to help you do that. They've created, like, the stickers in Instagram, like, so you can add questions, polls, DMs, like all these different things. So the platform is set up for you to succeed. So if you see it as the platform set up for me to succeed, I just need to use the tools.
Very good.
Then you're going to stop blaming the tools. Like, what is it they say? Like a bad workman always blames his tools.
That's it.
Well, it's not the platform's fault.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. Some people are winning using the platform. So what can you do? Change your mindset.
Yeah.
How can I use these tools to produce engagement, to build my community, to push people to my offer, to produce sales?
Which, in a sense, again, just to remind you guys, don't fear to try those things. Sometimes people might fear, I don't know how to create a sticker.
What you were just saying, just because no one responded the first time doesn't mean don't do it again. Just do it again.
Yeah, try it again.
They didn't know that no one responded.
Absolutely. That's it. At the moment, we're doing one of the things that, for example, myself, BDM, you and I did it as well. Yeah. We're doing a lot of Instagram lives every Monday at Create With E Studios, right? The thing is, our audience has shown that they're interested in that. So we're continuing to do it. And we're showing that actually it's showing us that it's growing. The audience is growing. The response is growing. We have committed people coming in, waiting, ready to go, which is awesome. So what does that say?
That.
Let's keep doing it.
This is it. It's like you have to test things and not be afraid to try.
I love it.
So final question. Are some platforms worse than others for engagement-bait culture?
Yeah, I think so. Instagram and Facebook are quite baity.
Yeah, because especially since like the Reels came out and then because obviously you can use ads and targeting and all of that. And why does Meta want you to do that? Because it gets paid. So you've gone from being a freebie to now a paying client for Meta if you're paying for ads. Yeah. So obviously it's going to reward that type of level of content because it's going to, like as a business, they're earning from it.
Absolutely.
So the psychology behind all of this, I think like YouTube and stuff is more of a consumer content base.
Absolutely.
So obviously there are ways of doing this and you can like put the links in the description and you can in your videos say like click the link below and I've got a freebie like you can do all these different things, but I think if you don't want to do this kind of nature of content you can lean into something that's less like that. But I think like we all have to take the landscape at where we find it.
Absolutely.
And you either roll with it and you leverage it or you kind of avoid it. You have to do what works for you, your brand and the image you want to portray.
There's always a positive way to use it though, I think. It's just, it's all down to effort and commitment. If you commit to it and you go, okay, maybe I don't want to do it, but it's actually going to benefit the business if you commit in the right way, then it's super important. I want to throw an example here because this is something really significant that you and I have spoken about before, but Mr. B strategic giveaways, they're such a massive marketing way for him that nobody else is really doing.
Well, the giveaways are like an amazing engagement tool that a lot of creators use. The way he does it is different, but it's different to like what we're talking about here, which is like clickbaity sort of engagement hacks. And I think what he's sort of figured out is that works with his audience. And I think for creators and people and businesses owners and anyone with a personal brand, you have to figure out what works for your audience and what resonates with them. There are creators who do giveaways and it's like they grow hundreds of thousands of followers and then they do it again and like they'll give away like all like it's like if you're like a lifestyle account and you give out like you give like a Dyson Hoover and like a hairdryer and all these different things and a luxury handbag like that's for some accounts that works really really well. But I think like it's funny, isn't it, because a lot of the ways that giveaways produce results for the person doing the giveaway is because they require you to do something on your end to get like into the, it's like a lottery, isn't it? Like you're in the pot then for the bingo, like the gamble, or it's like a raffle. It's like literally a raffle. We in Britain we love a raffle. It's literally a raffle.
Scratch card.
Yeah, scratch card. So you're in the pot now because you've like done the things that you want to do. But like I would say, like sometimes people don't want to share giveaways because it's like a little bit like awkward and taboo and stuff. Yeah. So I think like what I would say is you have to understand your target audience and then you do these different tactics based on what your audience are likely to do. So like if you're targeting business owners who are building their personal brand, they're probably not going to share a giveaway.
That's it.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas like if you're targeting stay-at-home mums, they probably will share a giveaway because they don't really care. They just like want the opportunity to maybe win all those freebies. So I think it's just understanding your audience. So I think what we want to help people realize is like whatever of these tactics you do use, you need to understand your strategy, your audience, your business, and then build in these different tactics if they work for you and resonate with what you're building.
Absolutely.
But you should focus more on the connections you're building and the community you're building and the engagement that comes from that rather than just comments and like focus less on likes, comments and like those sort of things and focus more on what you're trying to build overall. And also that will stop you getting so bogged down with whether 100%. You've got so many likes. I love the fact that like Instagram lets people hide their likes and stuff because I think for creators starting out and businesses starting out, it takes the pressure off a little bit. It takes the pressure
off, But it's also no longer about the followers. It's about the engagement. It's about how can you grab people, how can you hold people and ultimately have them come back for more. So if there's one thing that you can do is when you capture people, try to nurture them the best way you can for them to stick around for longer.
Yeah. So I like that topic. It was a great episode. And we hope that you guys come back for next time. If you like this episode, drop us a comment, give us a rating. All of this is going to help us know that you like the content that we're producing for you. So thanks so much for listening.
See you on the next episode.